Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today I am making my best friend's birthday cookies. So I wanted to make this a little bit fall themed because she loves the fall. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using my piping and flooding icing. If you don't know what consistency I'm talking about, then you can go ahead and check out that video in the right-hand corner. I am using royal icing today. I used to actually use only a cookie glaze on my cookies, but I found that with royal icing I could do a lot more. I really love a super puffy icing, so I really want to make sure that I'm doing this in blocks. If I just kind of iced it all together, then I wouldn't get the definition of those lines. Now you could ice the whole pumpkin and then add the lines in later, but I find it looks a lot nicer when you do it this way. Now for these cookies, you could really do whatever color palette that you would like, but I'm finding with fall that purples are really in, and I also wanted to keep it really nice and classy, so I'm keeping that pumpkin white, but I think it would actually look really beautiful with orange and purple as well. So now that the other parts of my pumpkin are completely dry, I can go ahead and fill them in with the other parts of the pumpkin. Now, if you've made the right consistency of icing, you really don't need to take your cookie scribe and do this. I kind of just do this to get rid of any air bubbles, but honestly, this really just falls into place. Now we're going to be creating some roses out of royal icing, and my tip for you in order to get the right icing consistency for this is to really make sure that you add a little bit more icing sugar, but the key here is actually to add a little bit more meringue powder. This ensures that it won't be too hard for you to pipe, but that it's going to be thick enough for you to pipe those roses. When creating this portion here, I imagine this is kind of like raffia or a ribbon wrapped around the pumpkin, and then we're going to be placing those roses on top. This rose style is a little bit different than the ones that I've done before. Now you want to make sure that the thinner part of your tip is pointing outwards as you just kind of wiggle your hand. When I was first learning to decorate cookies, it was really tricky for me to kind of end off. So when you're ending off your piping, you just want to stop squeezing and then gently finesse it down. As with all cookie decorating, it's really going to go very easily for you if you have the right consistency of icing. If you don't have the right consistency, you're going to fail at it every time. If you're just starting out decorating cookies, then I would suggest that you try out the consistency of icing on a piece of parchment paper before you actually put it on the cookie. You'll also notice that I'm actually putting the rose directly on the cookie. I'm not putting it on a nail of any sort and then transferring it. I find it a lot easier to just do it directly on whatever you're working on. I wanted to keep this all purple, but I think this would look really nice with a blend of colors. Maybe a maroon color or even a pink would look really great with this combination. In fall, I love warm tones, so I'm just warming this up a little bit by adding some gold. You guys know I love adding gold to pretty much everything. To create the mini rosettes, all you need is a small star tip. Now I'm going to work on some writing, and you can really do whatever you want. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When you're just starting out writing on a cookie, you do want to make sure that you do your natural handwriting, whether that's in script or if that's printing. And then once you get comfortable with that, then you can go ahead and do whatever script that you would like. If I'm ever asked to do a particular font, I make sure to look at an alphabet as I write. I found what's become really popular the last few years is to have this script writing where we have thin lines and then we have thicker lines. So basically what I would do whenever I do this is I just kind of use a thin line first and then I go back over it with a thicker line. Either I do that, or sometimes if I want that line to become thicker and I want it to come naturally and I don't want to have to go back to it, then I just squeeze a little harder. It's all about the amount of pressure that you apply on your piping bag. painting with my favorite gold luster dust mixed with a little bit of vodka, and I've said this in previous videos, but the reason that I use vodka is because it evaporates very quickly, so you don't get any weird taste on your cookie at all. It's going to be fairly tasteless. Sometimes I will directly paint on the cookie if it calls for it, but I generally won't do this to the whole cookie. I gave my friend Rachel these pumpkin spice latte cupcakes the other month to try, and she absolutely loved them and requested them for her birthday. So here I am piping them with a regular star tip, and then I'm sprinkling them generously with some purple to make sure that they tie in with the cookies. To get that rose on there, I did the exact same thing that I did with the royal icing on the cookies. Now I'm adding a bunch of golden pearls to really make this sparkle and shine, and some edible gold leaf as well. Now let's get into this pricing. Now the pricing is going to be at the bottom of the screen there, but I do want to say a few things about my pricing. So yes, it is in Canadian dollars. I do live in a bit more of an expensive area, so please keep that in mind. The other thing I want to mention is that I would never sell a set so small, especially if this were a custom order. I would of course do 24 cookie minimum, and I would also probably do a dozen to 2 dozen minimum for the cupcakes as well. If you want to see more videos on how I price, go ahead and check out that video in the right-hand corner. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys.